gun that the soldiers are carrying. The castings are made from original guns. It's off here to the right. On top is that bayonet, 21 inches of steel. The bayonet looks like it's a three-sided knife welded together, but those are not sharp. That is a piercing weapon. When that hits you, folks, it tears a hole that just you can't make it stop. It's illegal to use anymore in the war. That's why we have K-bars now to do that. Secondly, this is the Sheeds Woods off to the left. Notice how you can't see through Sheeds Woods, but that Virginia worm fence pushes cattle into there, and those cattle eat down all that stuff underneath, and it should look more like this well-manicured lawn to the left. See how you can see through the wood lawns there. The other thing to talk about is these soldiers. Again, 5th grade educated 18 to 27-year-old kids. How do you organize them to move on a battlefield? We're going to make a left turn at the stop sign, please. In the center of each regiment is a stand of colors, battle flags. Usually a flag from the state where you're from, and they have a very bright flag that the soldiers are taught to follow the flag. Flag goes forward, you go forward. Flag goes backwards, you go backwards. Don't see the flag, you are lost. Now, you have left turn here, please. But these flags mean much more to these soldiers. Before they go off to fight, whether north or south, the flags are given to them at the parties held in their towns. The parents are there, the foods are there, the pretty girls are there, bands are playing. Then it gets very serious. The mothers either buy the flags or make the flags, but then they get very serious and they present these flags to their young soldiers. We have one of the speeches that the mother from New York made, and her speech was simply this: we give you these flags to take to our enemies. Do not let a coward carry this flag. Do not let a coward pick it up. And then as the soldiers march off, the pretty girls come up and dry their tears off at the flag. Mom gives them that hug and kiss that immerses a teenage boy in front of his friends, and Dad that powerful handshake. That's the last memory of home that they have. They fight for these flags because it represents home and that last party home. It's another reason why soldiers throughout history are always this age, 18 to 20. Yeah, left turn. Left turn, and then we're going to make a right at the top of the hill by the White House. Okay? These soldiers, why 18 to 27? Unfortunately, we know that we can pump you up with things like Mom and Dad and apple pie. God bless America. You just ask 9/11, couldn't get into the military as people were coming in to go fight wars, right? It's something that we know. President Taft once said, old men declare wars, young men fight and die in it, and that really hasn't changed either. And now, folks, Robert Edward Lee and his Confederate forces have won a great victory here on day one. Robert Edward Lee's Confederate forces now own the town of Gettysburg, and of the 10 roads that come into Gettysburg, they control 8 of them. Robert Edward Lee's headquarters is going to be moved to this stone cottage here on the left side of the bus. This is Lee's headquarters at Gettysburg. And when we turn in here, you look to the right, you'll see a white church steeple, and just beyond it is a green church steeple, the Lutheran Theological Seminary. That seminary is part of the second college in Gettysburg, right here. This is Seminary Ridge. 3 buildings at the time of the battle, 27 buildings now. The cupola, you'll see it when we get to the stop sign. You look to the left, you'll see the cupola on the seminary building. The Union Army was using it in the morning to spy on the Confederates, but now Lee is using it to spy on the Union soldiers. Now, these soldiers are not expecting to die for their country. In fact, dog tags are not issued to the soldiers or south. Why would I need something stupid like that? I'm not dying for my country. So we don't have that. We don't expect to be wounded. The bullet that they fire is it's called a mini ball. It looks like the tip of your little finger. Here's the seminary on your left. There's the building that he was up. Looks like the tip of your little finger. It's a heavy bullet flying at low rate, so kinetic energy, 1/2 mass times velocity squared. Now that thing you in the head or the heart, like Jenny Wade, yeah, you'll be killed instantly. But 60% of the wounds come from these mini balls, and 60% of the wounds are in the extremities. Very susceptible to amputations. Now, most people believe that to have surgery back at this time, you're going to give the soldier a swallow of whiskey, have a bite on a bullet, a stick or a twig. Nothing is further from the truth. They have 2 great anesthetics, ether and chloroform. These are liquids. Put them on a rag or handkerchief, inhale the vapor, you get the same level of anesthesia that I produced for 40 years in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, right? Here's what we don't have, though. We do not have blood transfusions. cards. We do have a hollow needle, but it's about the size of a piece of lead and a lead pencil, and the end is squared off, not beveled. We don't have IV fluids. We don't have sterilities. I hate to say it, a busload of fifth graders knows more about germs than the medical corps north and south. The surgeons operate outside in the bright light. Yes, they're whooshing flies away, rinsing their instruments off, not to make them clean, but because they're sticky and they need to keep moving. Still, if you're wounded in the American Civil War and not killed instantly, your chances of surviving are about 80%. I didn't say survive well, but you will survive, and almost everybody has some form of PTSD afterwards. Lots of alcoholism and suicide following the battle. Time now is 4 o'clock, July 1st, 1863. Look off to the left. When you see that blue water tower, say ahoy. Why? Only 2 of you saw it. There's the blue water tower off to the left. Lee and second in command of the Confederate Army, James Longstreet, are on this ridge, Seminary Ridge. They're watching the Union Army get up there in a bunch. Second in command says to Lee, congratulations, you won a great victory here. I see we're in good shape now to swing around the Yankees and go pay a visit to old Abe Lincoln in Washington City. Lee lowers his binoculars, looks Longstreet straight in the face and says, General Longstreet, if the Yankees are on that hill tomorrow where the cool blue water tower is today, I will strike them dead. Longstreet's not expecting this, and he says to Lee, he says, General Lee, if the Yankees are on that hill tomorrow, they want you to strike them. So we've got a couple of things going on here, folks. We've got a battle that's not supposed to happen. We've got victory for Lee, and now we've got a professional disagreement, I guess, with the one thing to say, with military leadership between the Confederate High Command. That's going to play into our story. So we're going to head down here. I'm trying to see over these buses, see where we're going to get out. Your bus might be getting out here too, and we can too. There's room here for 2. Oh yeah. That bus doesn't park. We're going to park right behind this car here. Or behind Black Van. So folks, we're going to get out of the car. We're going to walk out to that monument on the left there so we can show you the night of July 1st, 1863 and what's happening here.